everybody. We're here for a discussion about communication in the workplace. And Miss Susan, she's going to be our note taker. Erica, she's going to be our co-facilitator. And then Chris, he's going to be our timer. And without further ado, I guess we'll get started. And just wanted to ask if there were any concerns before we started conversation. Okay. So I wanted to talk about today how we can better improve our communication in the workplace, where we clean church at. And right now that includes emails, face-to-face talking, and phone calls. And when we're away from work, that can also include text messages and other avenues as well. And I just wanted to start and see what everybody else's ideas are beginning about how we can better our communication.
Okay. Anybody? I have an idea that we can put it on everybody's calendar of what day we agree to meet and clean the church.
So,
Or we can alternate and one of us can clean one day and another can clean midweek, and then the third person can clean at the end of the week.
so you're thinking just like on your iPhone calendar?
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, that sounds really good.
Yeah, I would say it needs to be on an iPhone calendar or somewhere online instead of a hard calendar only like it is now, because that's kind of not good. If somebody loses that calendar, then nobody remembers when somebody's supposed to clean, then that's kind of really bad way to do things. But
Yeah, causes a lot of confusion.
The other thing is the digital calendars have reminders.
yeah, you could remind somebody, this is you're getting ready to clean this month. By the way, that way there's no surprises.
What do you think?
Being open and honest.
Alright, good. What do y'all think more about how we can improve our face-to-face talking and how we interact with each other?
Just having a good plan when you go in of who's doing what and staying in contact just so we can make sure everybody's safe while we're there. I like to keep check of everybody and kind of stay in the same area so we're not off, since it's such a big building, so we won't be off on our own in a wing all by ourselves. And then just letting each other know if we need help.
Sure.
What do you think?
Not talking above others. Listen when others are talking.
It's very
Yeah,
important.
that's a good one.
What do you
Do you
think,
have a
Chris?
suggestion?
As far as communication goes, I would just say more of it, just more regular communication,
Face-to-face.
more face to face.
Yeah, I think we get a little lost in our phones, so.
Yeah.
It's definitely very true.
What'd you say?
We get very lost in our phones.
Oh yeah.
But there's also phone calls which are sometimes necessary. Do you guys think we should start limiting those and broaden the other modes of communication?
I mean, in today's busy world, it's kind of hard to do all the time, do face to face. But we can definitely utilize Zoom and talk that way so that we're more, kind of like we did when we set up our months. We could have Zoom so we could talk face to face. That would be a good idea.
Yeah. In case anybody has any questions.
That includes everyone.
Oh yeah. Even, beyond all four of us.
As for, yeah.
Yeah, I think the communication with the other people is sometimes a topic that's a little, what should I say, has a little bit of tension to it.
Yeah.
What are y'all's thoughts?
What do you mean?
Just like how we can go about having more common experience with that. I guess.
Agreements.
Just having structure, I think, the way we did it this last time with, the designated church person that decides who's gonna do what. I think it went really well,
Yeah, I'd say so.
a lot better than in last year's or years
Definitely.
before.
It's definitely better than a free-for-all, just jump in and say what you feel like saying.
A meeting is definitely better than signing up because everybody breaks their neck to get to the calendar first. Whereas at a meeting, you sit down and you talk. And everybody gets a chance to say why they want a certain month or why they want to not have a certain month.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be very often, at least once or twice a year, that should be fine.
There just needs to be check-ins. I guess.
Definitely check-ins, yep. Just like this recent thing with the person that had September and December, he checked in and let us know that he needed to give up months. So check-ins are definitely beneficial.
Definitely help us out. How are we doing on time right now?
8.5 minutes left.
Okay. Did y'all want to move on to out of the workplace communication?
Sure.
So as y'all said, there's Zoom, there's phone calls and other things, even like face to face outside of work. What are y'all starting ideas about how we could better, fix the issues we have?
I think trying to understand where the other person's coming from and not being so forceful with your ideas every time is probably a good way to go about things.
Yeah.
But also at the same time making sure they get your point that you're trying to get across, that they're not just putting up a barrier, that they get what you're trying to say, but you're not trying to force it down so much that it doesn't feel like a one-sided conversation, which a lot of things turn into in the workplace sometimes.
Yeah, makes sense.
I would agree with that. Everybody has a different perspective on everything, so sometimes it's good just to listen.
It's true. What's that? Miss Note Taker, you have any ideas?
Well, I did like the drawing of the names for people to go in the right turn that she did this year.
Yeah. And do y'all think, do we need more, not just work central related conversation going on outside of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you wanna explain more about what we did this year with the drawing?
So, I don't know if I should say this to the camera, but, we did a drawing of the names, cause I think all the months had filled up for the amount of people, like you get like 2 or 3 months. And, there's still some extra months that people wanted. And so, I think she put it into a hat or something and they pulled it out and it was a good, fair way to do things. It was a little uneven on my part. I got more months, but I think if we utilize that more, it'll definitely help maybe with other issues too.
And the other thing that was really good about having an in-person meeting and having communications, even though some of us were on Zoom and some were in person, is that one lady showed up. Do you remember the one lady that showed up and she was gonna sign up? But her idea of what we were doing was completely different than what the church actually does with the way they do it. And she, once she was made aware, she was like, oh, I don't really wanna, do it. So it was really good to have that communication, so she didn't sign up for something that she really didn't wanna do. You remember the lady?
Yeah, I think she had her best interest at heart and maybe, further down the line, since a couple of people are not able to do the cleaning as much, maybe including ourselves, it'll be good to have people like that who are wanting to do it and hopefully she gets paid as well.
Yeah.
I think this last year is a real unique situation because of COVID, because there's certain weeks that, you know, during this time, the building may have not been used hardly at all, certain weeks, and other weeks where it was used, you know, quite a bit. And it may be events like BBS or things like that were scheduled kind of last minute or kind of quicker than normally would be scheduled. And then all of a sudden you got additional work to do where you normally would know about it maybe further ahead of time. Whereas maybe this year everything's kind of gotten to be on a tighter timeline,
Or, yeah,
so to
rush.
speak, or at least it seemed like to me anyway.
Yeah.
And you know, of course, you know, whether or not you were actually meeting at the building during the middle of COVID, you know, sometimes they were, you know, sometimes it was just one service, whether, you know, as opposed to, what, 3 services?
Yeah, sometimes they would cancel, Sunday night service.
Or Wednesday night.
Or Wednesday night service.
Yeah,
And they weren't using the extra building
right,
for events and stuff.
right,
So other than going and taking care of those buildings, just,
so,
you know, a set time a month,
yeah,
you didn't have to clean it if there was an event every single week or every other week.
so you had to be in communication with the church leaders and, you know, whoever's facilitating what we do.
Yes.
That way you knew what to expect that week and that week or that month. It seemed to change from week to week this year.
And you can explain more about the classrooms, how the classrooms weren't.
Yeah, so it has changed a little bit because of I think it may change a little bit because of the variants. It may go back to what it was, but I think it was just one. At the beginning, it was just the preacher and a few others, one recording, and it was live on Facebook. It may have been 2 services, yeah. And then it moved to there was like a kids class online as well, and then it moved to like in person, but it was only like, you know, the one service. And then now it's a little more back to normal, but now, you know, it may go back and more people need to wear a mask again for safety. But yeah, I think plus
The special, because of COVID, the special cleaning needs that had to be communicated.
Yeah, exactly. There was
Yeah.
additional, it may have not been meeting every service at the building, but there were additional cleaning needs on just to be in the building when we were in the building. So that was
sanitation.
kind of, it's a lot different.
Right, and the other communication things like, when we're out of supplies, we have to stay in regular communication with the coordinator of cleaning so that she knows when we're out of supplies and we need.
And supplies are not as readily available. this
Right.
year.
Supplies are harder to find right now. And
It's like
like,
we're coming up on a minute left
we have a
here.
minute left.
Well, we can do we can build our plan right now and have our closing remarks. Where do you see what are y'all's main points on what we want to improve in the next 3 to 6 months on communication at and away from the workplace, and then after we'll you know, do closing remarks and all that.
I think we could designate a leader out of the 4 of us to stay in regular contact with the coordinator.
And
That would be a good plan.
anybody like to volunteer? Would you like to do it?
I can, yeah,
Okay.
unless you would rather, I'd be fine doing it.
Okay. You're a good facilitator, so I think.
Okay, I would do it.
Okay. And so with the points we had before, we wanna emphasize more coordination between our face-to-face talking, but also we want to utilize the technology we have to be able to express needs, especially during COVID and events like that, or like, busy times at church.
We could also have a shared calendar that he could be, he's really good with tech stuff. He could, make a Google calendar for us to share.
Yeah, so, everybody can have it on their individual devices instead of, again, one calendar.
That would be a good plan.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would be better, especially since most everyone's going to, technology instead of paper and pen. But also having the paper and pen backup is good, and that's why we're doing notes this week. That's good
Right.
too. Yeah. Any closing remarks y'all have?
I don't know.
I don't.
Good. Well, thank y'all for coming, and I'm very appreciative of all this, and I've learned a lot. I'm gonna go stop the video now.